bracing for impact.
That is life-threatening storm surge.
Hurricane Idalia's on landfall in Florida. A deadly shooting with a remarkable escape.
All I know was I gotta get my baby out of here.
A part of the Jacksonville tragedy you may not have heard. After missing out on the debate stage, the Francis Suarez campaign makes its next big move. Plus, a celebration of sport and inclusion.
Not only our organization, but grow as a society as well.
These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I am Paloma Pimentel.
I'm Job Charles, and today is Wednesday, August 30th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Storm surge, heavy rainfall, and gusty winds along the Florida coast as Hurricane Idalia makes landfall. From the Keys to Tallahassee's Florida coast is seeing the effects of Hurricane Idalia, which is now a Category 3 storm.
As Caplin's Valentina Gaspari reports, Florida residents are feeling Hurricane Idalia's wrath.
Idalia unleashing its fury on Florida.
Storm surge could reach 10 to 15 feet in some areas of the Big Bend. That is life-threatening storm surge. That is storm surge that if you're there while that hits, it's going to be very difficult to survive that.
A rare and historic strike in the usually storm surge-prone divot along the Big Bend area of Florida's Gulf Coast.
Really got to go back to the late 1800s to find a storm of this magnitude.
This storm is worse than we've ever seen. My family has been here for many generations. We haven't seen a storm this bad ever.
Storm surge is flooding into Fort Myers homes being rebuilt from last year's Hurricane Ian destruction, forcing people to flee a restaurant in Fort Myers Beach. Rising waters turning streets across state into rivers. President Biden says he's in constant contact with Florida's governor.
We're worried about the surge, the ocean surge. We don't know exactly yet. It's hour to hour we're watching this, but I told the governor and the mayor, regions that are likely to be hit first, that we're there as long as it takes. We're going to make sure they have everything they need.
For Caplin News, I'm Valentina Gaspari.
Even though landfall was hundreds of miles from the Tampa Bay area, that was still a lot of storm surge there was this morning. CNN's Derek Van Dam shows us the conditions there.
25 miles southeast of the most powerful part of the storm. So my point being that you don't have to be so close to the center of the storm where the strongest winds are to get its greatest impacts. Just let this scene speak for itself, right? We've got flashing lights behind us. Tampa is behind me. This is Bayshore Boulevard. And we are getting these intermittent, powerful feeder bands from the hurricane. And again, we're 125 miles away. That is an angry Tampa Bay. And this storm surge. This is a major concern. This is what 4 to 6 feet of storm surge looks like. Oh, look at this. Look at the waves crashing over the shoreline here. That is a seawall meant to protect Tampa and Bayshore Boulevard. Well, the water has come up and over that seawall, and we're getting sprayed every minute or so with these massive, massive angry swells.
That was CNN's Derek Van Dam reporting near Tampa. Italia is now a Category 2 hurricane as it passes through Florida onto Georgia.
Republican candidate Francis Suarez announced Tuesday his campaign has been suspended. Miami mayor says he wants to continue increasing the voices representing the Hispanic community. Suarez is focused on America becoming a better nation. He also wants to network with other Republican candidates to make sure the GOP puts a strong nominee in this year's election.
This morning, a young mother is sharing the terrifying moments when she is trapped in the Florida Dollar General during a racial-motivated attack last weekend. Caplin's Tanisa Sr. with the latest.
Mercedes Jones was shopping for art supplies with her 2-year-old daughter when she heard the shots. At first, Jones says she did not know what was happening, but went into the back of the store with some older women to hide. She says one man was there and hopped a back fence to escape, but they couldn't do that.
But I didn't know the nature of the crime at the time. All I know was I gotta get my baby out of here. Then he came behind the store and we saw him. He was like in military clothes. He had like this Marine fit on a bulletproof vest and the biggest gun I have ever seen strapped around his shoulders. And he just sat there, he watched us. He could have killed us all.
Jones says the gunman walked up to them and spoke to them.
When there was 3 other women, older women that worked there behind that building with me. Everybody else could jump. I couldn't, I had a baby. So therefore, we begging for our lives, and I fell begging for mine, blocking my baby with my body. And then he was like, if you don't want me to shoot you, run.
So Joan ran. Unfortunately, because she was carrying her daughter, she fell, skinning her knee. But she was finally able to escape to a nearby property. Eventually, police came to find her. And even then, Joan says she was still terrified.
And then I was scared to go with the policemen afterwards when they actually banged on the apartment door and found me. I was scared to go with them because they had the same gun wrapped around their shoulder. I was like, you look like him.
Jones says she is struggling to find emergency assistance in Jacksonville to help deal with the trauma of the shooting. For Caplin News, I'm Tanissa Sr.
We have a follow-up this morning regarding Monday's tragic shooting of a faculty member at the University of North Carolina. The shooter, Tai Li Chi, made his first count appearance yesterday and was given charges of first-degree murder as well as for having a gun on educational property. Authorities have since come to conclusion that the killing of that professor was premeditated.
We have determined that the victim and suspect knew each other, and the suspect went directly to the victim and then left Caudle Labs.
A hearing will be held for Chi on September 18. If he is found guilty of all charges, he is likely to face life in prison.
The number of job openings in the U.S. dropped below 9 million for the first time 2 years. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has reported that available jobs fell for the 3rd time in a row this year. The figure is currently standing at 8.8 million, a drop from 9.1 million as of June. This is the first time since early 2021 where the number of available jobs is below 9 million.
The Citrus Series is back in Miami as the Marlins look to stay above 500.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
We need this younger generation to get involved at a high level to bring their new ideas to the forefront.
The World Series is coming early, but not the one that we all know. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Play ball, athletes meeting up in Twin Cities for a highly anticipated tournament. It's time for the World Series, and no, the MLB did not push it a month early.
Instead, thousands of fans and players are likely packing Minneapolis this morning for the highly anticipated Gay Softball World Series. Reporting Reg Chapman has more on the story.
225 teams from 54 member cities make up the Gay Softball World Series. Day one in the Twin Cities is filled with registration and information about the league's history and the impact it's had on every city that has hosted this annual event.
So I started playing in 1991. I had just come back from the military and wanted an outlet, and I found Gay Softball.
For Dirk Nettles, this is more than a softball tournament. It's like a family reunion.
You come back and you see all your friends. I've known some of these guys, since day one.
The North American Gay Amateur Athletic Alliance, or NAGA, was founded in 1977. The organization is made up of men and women dedicated to providing opportunity and access for the LGBTQ+ community to play organized competition softball in safe environments. The Twin Cities previously hosted this tournament in 1996 and 2012. Organizers pride themselves on how the World Series of Gay Softball has opened eyes to the truth that despite differences in sexuality on the field of play, they compete with the same knowledge, ability, and fire.
We need this younger generation to get involved at a high level to bring their new ideas to the forefront so that we can grow not only our organization, but grow as a society as well.
Games will be played in multiple locations from Inver Grove Heights to Woodbury, Burnsville to Eagan. These athletes are ready to battle for a title while working to give kids of all ages an opportunity to enjoy the sport.
That was CBS's Minnesota Reg Chapman reporting. The Gay Softball World Series runs through September 3rd. This year, the Minnesota Twins have partnered with the tournament, the first Major League Baseball team to do so.
The Citrus Series kicked off at Lone Depot Park this week, and unfortunately for the Fish, history continues to repeat itself. The Marlins got off to an early leading in the first 2 innings, thanks to yet another electrifying start from Jazz Chisholm Jr. However, a combination of the offense hitting a dry spell and the pitcher's mound not being able to contain the Rays at-bats led to the Fish getting stomped on. The Marlins allowed 10 runs in just 4 innings en route to an embarrassing loss. The final score was Rays 11, Marlins 2. There may be a silver lining though, as the Fish have a chance to redeem themselves today at 6:40. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Job Charles.
I'm Paloma Pimentel. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.